We are live.
Yes.
Yeah, we are live.
Woo!
Guys, you're welcome to this special edition of Beton Show. And today we're going to talk about business clarity. It's an honor to have these specialists in the house. Actually to talk about business clarity, to give us their experience based on their day-to-day business activities. In Finland with them. Meeting with other people around the world. So you're welcome to this special edition of Beton Show. Mr. Oskar and Ms. Priyanka Banerjee. You're all welcome to this special edition of the show. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great, and thank you for having us here.
Okay. Mr. Oskar.
The same. The same, considering the circumstances. I mean, we are pretty lucky in a way to be able to work over the internet, but not everyone is that lucky. But we're doing the best with what we have, considering the circumstances.
Yeah, we are doing the best with what we can. That's what we must do always, But really, we know it's really difficult. It's a pain when businesses or entrepreneurs are facing difficulties to properly explain what they are actually doing. At times some people feel like, not most of everyone is like, oh, I cannot get it. What are you all about? What do you do? What's your business all about? I can't understand you. And I see Priyanka, you have been involved so much into like public speaking. You are CEO and co-founder of business with Oye. And also Oskar, I see also you are more involved in helping companies in time of strategy. You are the co-founder and CEO of Stratigo.
Yes.
Let's first before gentlemen. Let's begin with Ms. Priyanka. Based on your experience, Madam, can you actually give us a clear explanation on what business clarity is all about?
So, hi everyone. Welcome. We are trying this new way of bringing up content to you, and today talking about business clarity. So clarity for me, it means exactly knowing where I'm going, why am I going, and how am I going to reach there. And for example, I kind of give the analogy of this, like if you are going to travel. So you need to have a destination. So I am traveling from Finland, I'm traveling to, for example, India or to the US. So I need to have a specific destination. So that is the first thing that I think about when I have a clarity, that I need to know what is my clear objective, where I want to go. And then I decide, why am I doing it? Like, why? What is the fuel that is giving me the energy to do this business? And at the end, you find out that how are you going to reach there? So are you going by a flight? Are you going there by a train? Or how are you going to go there? So it's kind of like how business also works. And that's for me, to have a bigger picture in front of me is what clarity is about in the business. But maybe Oskar, you can add, what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, Priyanka, I think you summarized it really well. And of course, we all have our individual goals and ideas, what we want to accomplish. But when we work in business and in organizations, we have many people with multiple ideas. And really in that context, business clarity is how do we get like a group consensus and get everyone to work towards these common goals? And how do we arrive at those ends? Because like the traditional old way is that there's one boss who tells everything, but like in this day and age, people are not motivated to being just dictated. You are to do this and that's that. Perhaps in the military, but in creative work or where you have to really put in the hours, especially when the times are tough, then you need people to commit. When you worked diligently to arrive at that consensus, then everyone shares like a clear image, and then you can spend more time working towards the things you want to achieve instead of spending time like getting people just to align. So yeah, that's really.
I agree. It's like I always think that clarity first starts with you. So if you are the business owner, you should first know about what is that you want to take the business, what is the final goal, and then kind of creating this environment where all the other people and employees, they have the same vision and they are going one step towards the same direction.
Yeah, Oskar, I see you are helping a lot of companies. Have you always faced this problem with when you come across one any company that you try to help to understand what they are doing? Do you always find yourself getting to know or struggling to know what they are all about? How you can help them and how you can, be part of their journey?
Yeah, that sort of always happens because we know the stereotype. You have an entrepreneur who sets up a business and they are like by themselves, or then they have a small team around them. The world, when you're at that stage of the process, you really feel like you know what you're doing and you really haven't you can sort of manage stuff or the coffee table. But when you grow and you start to get like 20 people on board, either in your business or then a combination of like subcontractors, freelancers, and then usually you hit a limit where you just can't manage everything by being in each meeting, and that's when you need to really start to get more of a process down. How are you going to like collect the views? How are you going to get everyone to agree? Because it's not like you can dictate by yourself where you're supposed to go, because you don't know everything. You could have like a marketing guru in your business who has a much better understanding of how marketing technology works, and you have to give them the ability to bring that to the table. Because if you're just believing that you know everything and dictate, then your business probably will tank in a way, because the world becomes just too complex. So it really becomes more of a process as you grow. You reach those growth pains and you have to overcome them.
Yeah, I also think that most of the times when we are having the business and it's growing, we start working in the business, doing the operations and doing the actual stuff rather than working on it. So it's also important to have the bigger picture and remember that this is where we want to go, and to steer and guide everyone. And as Oskar said, that also delegating the tasks, and your task could be like guiding the people towards the actual destination.
Yeah, and you see, it must be so difficult for entrepreneurs or businesses to actually define what they are all about. So, what do you guys think about business clarity being an important aspect of business development? Like, if say your business is not properly understood, does it affect your business development?
Of course, it does affect the business development, because until and unless you have a clear objective where the whole team is going, you cannot make good decisions. In order to make good, proper decisions that will steer the company towards the goal, you need to have vision and clarity of what your business is about. And I think it also helps in resolving the conflict, because if the whole team and the group is, they know that where they're going, what is their objective to reach, they have less conflict between each other, and there is more efficiency in the team. So it is quite important.
Yeah, that's really good. And I could also add on top of that it's really comes down as a question of where you want to put your energy. If you haven't solved the basic questions, then that's where your energy as a basically employee or a manager or an entrepreneur will go. And the more people you have on board, then the more time you have to spend on those basic questions if you haven't gotten those things together. Now, your time is probably better spent elsewhere. So by making sure there's a solid foundation to stand on, then you can actually have the time to put where it actually should be put and focus, because there's only so many things you can focus on at one time. And as an entrepreneur, as the CEO, you have to really put the time and effort where it's actually needed. You're like that critical coach who needs to focus only on those things that a coach should be focusing on, not perhaps choosing which soda cans you should have in your fridge this week. I mean, you should delegate that to somewhere, but it can be very important for motivation, but you are not the one who chooses the soda cans. You should be focusing on bigger questions.
Yeah, and also for the rest of the team, it could also be kind of like a catalyst to get more creative. Because, for example, if you know that I want to, now that Oskar has this amazing background, I want to go to Lapland. So I have a clear objective, and I can get creative in the ways I can achieve that. So you can have a lot of different ways that people can think and innovate if they know exactly where they are going to go with this business or with this product that they are doing.
Okay, okay. You know, Priyanka, you know, when you come across people, actually, what is the first thing that comes into your mind? Is it getting to know them first, or to know what they are doing? Because I'm asking this question because people, entrepreneurs or businesses, at one point they tend to forget the importance or like to actually express themselves in a proper way rather than expressing their business in a proper way. So there's this confusion of how they fit into your businesses or how they can separate themselves from their businesses. So have you come across such circumstances dealing with people?
Okay, so if I understand the question correctly, that when I come across people, do I want to know more about them or about the business, right?
Yeah, about them or the business.
Yeah, so for me, I think the person is more important. I personally like to know the person better because as you also see that when you have the clarity in your business, you also kind of get the clarity of what kind of people you want to partner with or you want to hire or you want to work with. So, so knowing the person, that do they fit in what you are trying to do, or do they actually have the same kind of motivation. It is important to know the person first. And of course, then you know the business and you know the work, and the work and the business, they can always, you know, we can always work around that if the person and the values and the motivation, they match to yours.
Yeah. Oskar, I know you know, before I go to you, I think I'm having some internet problem, but I think everything is fine. Before I go to you, know, the first time I met Oskar was at one business forum. His ideologies and techniques helped me a lot to bring out, like to add more value in what I do. I was able to define so many aspects of what I'm doing, and you know, so thank you, Oskar. You helped me a lot. So. Meeting with people, do you agree with what Priyanka like mentioned about, you know, to know people first before knowing their business?
Yes, there's definitely a point in what Priyanka is saying, in that personal chemistry can be a huge asset, because if you can naturally sync with the person, it's naturally easier to work with them. But when you work with sufficiently large companies, you're bound to anyway also work with people who are who the personal chemistry is not that in sync with. So from my experience, you can't let chemistry get in the way, because ultimately when you work with strategic questions and clarity questions, it's still like a process you work through. And
yeah.
A good professional is able to also like work beyond like personal chemistry and sort of put at the side and just focus on the things and questions that need to be solved. But of course, then if you're looking for like partnerships and those kind of things, where you are intensely working with a person day in and day out, month after month, then the personal chemistry question would be more important. But for like more short-term projects, is not necessarily a deal breaker in any sense of the word. But ultimately, we all have to choose who we want to spend our time with, and some relationships will be easier than others.
Yeah, of course you meet people who, like you said, that we have to work with a lot of people. But again, it comes to your own values with what kind of businesses and people you want to work with. And in big teams, when you have more than one people, when you have to work with the people you don't really get along, but still it's important to understand them. That's what I meant to say. But I understand that when you have big organizations, and it's not that you can get along with everyone, but it's about having knowing what we are doing and what these people they value and how do they work, so that it becomes easier to get along in the long run.
Okay, that's awesome. Viewers, if you are just joining us now, we are talking about business clarity, and my guest speakers here are Oskar Westerlund and Priyanka Banerjee. You know, these are experts in the field of business. They have been dealing with a lot of companies, a lot of people, you know, and they have expertise knowledge to talk about this, how companies or how businesses can actually define what business culture is all about, and how they can, you know, develop different ways to actually explain to others or to their customers or to their target group what they are all about and or what their business is all about. Let's go back to the conversation. Mr. Oskar, I respect you a lot based on what you're doing, especially with businesses like foreigners. I see you interacting with more with foreigners. Not like you chose to, but I think you're more aligned with foreigners. I've seen you. I don't know if it's true, but based on my own personal, experience, knowing you for a short while, I think that's how I can define you. So you actually can agree with me that entrepreneurs or businesses face difficulty. I mean, a lot of difficulties to explain your business, to actually talk to properly explain what they are all about. So, what advice do you always give to people or entrepreneurs when you come across them having these difficulties to properly explain to you about what they do or about their business?
Yes, a very good question, the Beton. I would say there's always the basic question, like when you know what you are about, then you know ultimately there's only so much time and energy any single entrepreneur or person has. So the time and energy we have should be spent on doing the right things. And one way we figure that out is to basically, when we know what we should be, why we are doing the things we do in our business, then that helps us make choices, because we can't do everything. But if we, for example, know that this is our great purpose, then we can choose our focuses accordingly. So by knowing ourselves, we know what we should be focusing on. And when you're small, you're still seeking the right path, and you do many tweaks and looking for that hockey stick. But once you get past that stage, if you get established, then eventually more opportunities will come your way, and you can't take hand of all the opportunities. So you have to leave something to the side so that you can put all of your money and energy on these couple things that will give you most returns on what you desire to accomplish. It could be really anything, but the process, how we discover those things, is the same, because we all have to answer the same questions. But it's a really complex thing when you start really dig into it. But that's like the surface level explanation of how it's.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah. Well, that is a lot of time also when you're in public speaking or a meeting with people who want to pitch their ideas, and it's very difficult for them to pitch the idea because they don't know how to start it, because they don't know themselves what to say about it. And I think there you can, how I align myself is that, first of all, you understand where, as Oskar said, that what is the purpose, like what is it that makes you jump out of the bed in the morning to work motivatingly on this on the business you're working with. So when you know why you are doing it, gives you a little bit more push to keep doing it. And then understanding that what is it that you want to achieve? Where do you want to go with the business? What is your vision for it? And then ultimately having a plan, like how do you do that? So when you have the three things in place, it's easier for you to put the pieces together and explain the business properly. And one thing that I always think for myself is that don't explain to impress, but explain to express. So it's about expressing your business idea from your perspective, and letting people know that what you're doing, why you are doing, and how you are doing it.
Okay. I'm a little bit curious right now. I want to ask both of you, did you always have this clarity, about what you're doing, or did you guys had some difficulties along the way,
I
Oskar,
literally did
what
not
do you
have
think?
this much of clarity as before. I had a lot of ideas because I'm a person, I'm like really, I have a lot of ideas in my mind. And I have plans, I can do this and that and this and that. So I had to sit down and find out the thing that I was really passionate about, and the passion and the purpose, I define something that is very emotionally connected to me, because when I have emotions attached to my purpose, it's easier for me to keep in track and to take it long term, because emotions help you to give these kind of feelings that you can actually continue your work. So I had to do all that exercises, and eventually got the clarity that what exactly I'm doing and what I want to do. And now I think I have a 3-year plan and yearly goals and monthly goals and weekly goals. So it becomes much more clear to me that what exactly I have to do to reach there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Oskar?
Yeah, well, the default is that business is a succession of failures where after you always make changes to adapt to. And it's a long process of elimination in a way. Like Thomas Edison didn't manage to create the light bulb on the first try. And many of these huge successes we see around society in business and otherwise also didn't come on the first try. If it did, it's probably because the people in those projects have been failing quite a lot with their experiments before.
Okay.
One measure we usually do is that we go by the numbers. So we try something and then we see what kind of tangible results did we get out of it. And then we either are satisfied with it, or then we realize that this wasn't what we wanted to achieve. And then we have to make decision based on what we see. But of course, before we get going with anything, we always have like our own idea or a hypothesis, what we think could be the thing. But then we quickly start to demo and try and see if there's like any type of traction at all. Because if there isn't, then the idea is probably not that good.
Yeah, and I would add to Oskar that I totally agree with this, and this is one very important skill that is required in businesses to again and again regain the clarity, because it's not like a one-time thing. Like you said, that you have to do a lot of like iterations of what you are doing and you understand something. So it's kind of also a skill that you can acquire to gain and regain and work on the clarity of what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. If I sorry, Oskar.
It's okay. Please go on. I agree with Priyanka.
Okay. If I understood what we have been like discussing here, ever since we began the show, what you guys are saying is if there's no proper business clarity in what you're doing or clarity in what actually you are all about, it means you don't know where you're going to. Is that what you guys are saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, from my part, we of course have our own clear idea what we want to achieve, and one of the clear purposes we want to achieve is that we want to help other businesses and entrepreneurs also get clarity in what they do, because ultimately that has to do with actually people getting to keep their jobs. Because if no business has a clear idea what they're doing, then ultimately they will not succeed in the market and they have to close. And that means that there will be people who are unemployed. So we feel like by helping others get clarity, people will have a job and an income and living standards remain up. And the world is so complex these days. So if you can even help a few people get more clarity in what they're doing so they do the right things, then the overall level of everyone rises, and that's beneficial for the whole society. So that's one of the things we want to achieve.
Yeah, and what you said, like I can't. Sorry, you're breaking a little bit. So can you repeat?
No, it's okay. I wanted to talk, but I caught you. I interrupted you, so it's okay. You can.
Yeah, I was saying that, like you said, you mentioned that having no business clarity means that you don't know where you're going. And I again come back to the same example of traveling. Is like, think about it. If you have packed your bags to go somewhere and you have no clarity, what is your destination? Will it be very easy journey for you? Or will it be easier if you know where you are going? You have more clarity of the destination and the why you are going and the how you are going. It makes your life much easier and the journey becomes much better.
In this case, I agree with all of you. Ever since we began the show, I agree. I mean, all what you guys have been saying there, I see myself a victim so many times, struggling. What are you doing? How can you do this to make people understand you like properly? So now my question is, if clarity is very essential in business development or to give you a proper direction to where you are going, so what are some guides? In achieving total business clarity? What can you say to actually guide people step by step for them to achieve clear clarity of what they are all about? Priyanka,
Yeah,
you can begin.
Sorry, is it?
Yeah, you can begin. You can.
So I go. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that I think that a lot of people, they lose the focus or the clarity is because of the commitment issue. So once you have a setback or a failure, you start finding new thing and the shiny thing, especially in the world of social media, and it moves your focus from what you're actually doing. So the step-by-step process I also mentioned in the beginning and also in between that to understand 3 things that I work with, but there are that is the high level clarity that it will give you. For example, the result, know what you are, where you are going, and to understand the purpose, why you are doing it, what is the fuel of your engine, of your car, of your body, and then how you are going to do it. So have a good action plan, and to set goals that are achievable and you can monitor them, keep on. And one thing that I agree and think about is to repeat it over and over and over again, because when you keep repeating, it's like the story. It's not just for you, but or for your teams and employees to be on the same track, in the same path, and it helps them also understand, okay, this is the story, this is where we are going. It creates a high purpose environment overall.
What do you think, Oskar?
Yeah, exactly. Priyanka said that those are the basic questions you have to answer, but there's a very nasty stereotype that you can agree on these things and have the answers, but if you can turn those decisions and choices into actions, into practical steps and follow those up day after day with the steering system in place, then it will be forgotten in your cupboard or the drawer. And you basically spent a couple of days on doing workshops and agreeing on things, but then you actually don't use them. So that's really the difficult part, getting the people to commit during the process and then starting to live and work alongside those decisions. And one way you can do that is to involve everyone from the beginning, but due to cultural issues, many think that no, it's the management who agrees on those things, and then they step down from the mountain and declare to the world what has been decided. But after that, the management has to convince everyone to come along, and that's not the optimal way to go about it. If you involve everyone from the very first meeting, then you'll get the grassroots to provide you with information, and you can involve everyone, and then you get the commitment at the same time. And there are better ways and there are worse ways to go about this. Some things are very smooth, other things require much more work, and it's up to the business to decide what they prefer to do. What 2 criteria that usually are important is that nobody has the time or the patience. So by making it as light and agile and lean as possible, like easy, natural, simple, then it becomes more likely for people to understand what's going on and then to start working along the lines.
And I think also like a constant communication about what we are doing helps. Like you have to just keep repeating and have this communication in place with your team and with your leadership.
Wow, wow, that's awesome. Guys, this is amazing to have Oskar and Priyanka here to talk about this aspect of business development. Actually, I must say I needed to talk about or to bring this up or to invite you all to today to actually give us a proper explanation or proper understanding of what business strategy is all about. And I believe that many people who are going to consume this content are going to be really blessed, are going to be really appreciative to what you guys have actually shared here today. If say you are joining us right now and you don't know who these amazing people are, this is Priyanka, the CEO and co-founder of Business Wiz Oye. She's also a keynote speaker, a coach, and Oskar Westerlund, a strategy simplification specialist who is helping businesses to get proper direction where they are going. Today we are talking about business strategy, and I want to give you guys an opportunity to just tell the public what you do, what are you all about, and what are some challenges you've gone through doing what you do, and just let them know more about you guys. Priyanka, I always want to start first, ladies for gentlemen.
Ladies first. So you were talking about introducing yourselves.
Yeah, of course you have to introduce yourself, but like now I'm talking about your business.
Yeah, about the business. Okay, so
the show mostly is not to actually make people know about or give people education about these topics, but also I want people to get to know more about you and your business, what you do.
Yeah.
We know someone might want to be in contact with you or something like that.
Yeah, sure. So I think I will put my business clarity idea in a way that what I was just saying, that what I do is my company is Business Wiz, and we are working to create a future of business that is more inclusive, where everybody feels that they belong and everyone gets an equal opportunity. So that is what my vision is, to create a future that works for everyone. Then why am I doing it because I am really, really connected to this topic. Working as a woman in tech of color, it has not been very easy to get equal opportunity. And that's why I have like past experiences that connects me to the cause of providing this kind of inclusive workplaces. So that is my purpose and my why. And how I do it is I help companies by different kind of workshops, trainings, and long-term programs to change their organization culture into becoming more diverse and inclusive. So that is the whole business idea in that form. Yeah, that's what I do. And you can find me on LinkedIn if you want to connect. And if you want to know more about it, you can visit our website, businesswiz.com.
Her LinkedIn profile,
yeah, sure.
The video after, and also with Oskar, also I'm going to put everything, to the video. You guys can reach out to them. There are some people get to learn more. I believe Oskar will want to say something more about his business also.
Yes, so my name is Oskar Westerlund. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Stratigo Limited. We set up Stratigo in 2015 together with my dad, who has been working with these questions ever since 2007. And what we can help you with is that we can help you answer these basic questions, and then on top we'll give you the ability, the glasses to see soft spots and possible traps that you can fall into when you answer these things. Like if you, for example, answer very high level obvious answers to the questions, then you probably are not, for example, differentiated, and we help you to give you the tools to find those soft spots so that you can correct them. And then once you have the answers, then we will also help you upgrade your business to the 21st century by giving you simple, powerful digital tools that help you remove yourself from the analog world into a world where you can take part in meetings online from wherever you are with no upper limit of participants, and everyone can be like engaged during those meetings. So we really make your meetings and the ways you run your business efficient and optimized, and give you the ability to also quickly adapt to changes, because the philosophy that you can plan the future like 3 years ahead, it's gone. The world is moving too fast. Instead, we help to make you adaptable and give you the ability to quickly change plans as the wind changes, like what's going on right now. Who of us could have predicted that we are all on lockdown now a few months ago? But for example, with our method, you would be able to quickly adapt and take these digital tools and basically move your activities offsite and manage your business even globally with geographically dispersed teams. And to promote this idea of managing your business clearly and online, we actually set up a Facebook group called Business Clarity for Founders CEOs. And if you're at all interested in these online techniques or business clarity, you are more than welcome to join and chat with us, because the group is all about like peer support and helping us tackle these questions. And right now, what is going on, everyone needs to pull together and help each other out, and that's an excellent forum to do it, because there's so many people there already. And you're also more than welcome to reach out to me on Facebook and on LinkedIn and just add me so we can chat further, because I'd like to be there to help you make sure that your business will flourish today and in tomorrow too, because this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. We're in it for the long haul.
Yeah, I'm so grateful having you guys here. We have come to the end of this wonderful conversation about this.
We are also very grateful that you invited us. So thank you for that.
Excellent initiative, Betong.
Guys, this is all I do. I want to bring to you everything you need to be successful in your business. These guys have explained the basics about what is business strategy, and how you as a person can adapt or can can follow the steps that you can follow daily, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, to really define what you're all about, and so that your customers or the people whom you interact with will best to understand or to get to know more about you. So Oskar and Priyanka, in fact, I lack words to show my gratitude to you guys. I appreciate you being part of this show, taking some time out from your busy schedule to actually share with my viewers and also with your viewers. But I'm going to post this. I'm going to make this available so that Oskar also can post it to his viewers, maybe on Facebook or maybe on LinkedIn or wherever your people are. Even Priyanka, you guys also. I mean, guys. Even those who are watching, you guys can share with your friends. You can never know who is watching or who is among your contacts who might benefit from this whole aspect of business life that Oskar and Priyanka have shared based on their experience. So thank you for being part of the show. I'm going to say bye-bye to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice week, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, stay strong, guys. We'll make it through this. Looking forward to speak with you online.
Okay. I think I had one question. Please, so
yes, questions. Excellent.
Okay. Okay. Paul gave a comment that great work, guys. Interesting session. Thank you so much for Okay, I thought there was a question. It was just giving showing appreciation for all what you have shared here today. So I think that's it for now.
Okay. If anyone has any other questions later, you can always ping us, find us on Facebook or LinkedIn or anywhere, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible. Thank you so much.
Okay. I have to go now. We have to go now. We are so busy people.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.